Okay, so welcome to day 12 and meditation for 16 minutes today. So we're now really getting on towards our 20-minute target. Just something I said I'd share a little bit about today, neuroplasticity. So the idea that neuro, to do with the brain, to do with our neurons, and plasticity, they usually use that term to be flexibility, plasticity, flexibility. We used to think that the brain couldn't change itself. For most of the 20th century, the idea was you had a brain that was pliable, malleable up to a certain age. And then, once you'd left childhood, that was it. We now know that's not the case. One of the leading researchers in this, Dr. Norman Doidge, he uses a great analogy, the idea that at any age, doesn't matter what our age is, the brain is kind of like a ski slope. And you could see that there was virgin snow on the ski slope. The first run, the first pass you have, you're going to create just a thin track down that. It's not going to be not a very deep ski track. But then the second time you do it, if you take the same route, then you make a deeper groove into the snow. And if you keep doing that, then you make this track that's really easy to head along. And that's the same idea in the brain, that we whatever we do habitually, we keep reinforcing. But that means we can change, we can create new tracks in the brain. So this idea of this 30 days is to create new tracks in the brain, a new habit. And there was another researcher, Dr. Eric Kandel. He won the 2000 Nobel Peace Prize for medicine. He realized that these changes, they work all the way down into the cell, actually into our DNA. So what you do physically changes, maybe not the code itself, but the way the code expresses itself. So some genes switch off and some on. And now they're obviously finding that there's really beneficial effects connected to meditation. So some of our genes are being turned off, more beneficial ones are being switched on. So if that works for you, if that helps reinforce the habit, you're actually changing yourself at a genetic level for the better. I think that's really cool. Okay, let's start with a body scan. So find yourself settled wherever you are. Release the body a little if you wish. Start to take some deeper breaths into the tummy, into the rib cage. There's a added layer for this breathing as well. If you want to relax a little more, as you're breathing and your tummy, both your tummy and your rib cage are expanding. As you inhale, you could count just, approximately. You want the rhythm to stay the same. You could just count how long an inhale takes you. So maybe for me, 1, 2, 3. That was my inhale. Then I just want my exhale to be longer than that. So I want my exhale to be at least a 4 count by the same rhythm. Now you're breathing in and out the same volume of air. But by having more of a focus, by elongating your exhales, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So the fight or flight or freeze system is your sympathetic. That's the automatic one that just kicks in and shoots a load of adrenaline or cortisol through us, ready to fight or flee or freeze. The parasympathetic, so we have another nervous system or another part of the same system, which is the relaxation, the rest and the digest system. If you breathe out for longer, same volume of air, if you breathe out for longer than you breathe in for, you activate more of that parasympathetic system. So whatever your inhale has been, 3, 4, 5, 6 count, just make the exhale at least a 1 count longer, maybe a 2 count longer. And then come to scan the body. So be aware of your feet and your toes. Your ankles, the shins and the calves, the knees, the thighs, and then the hips, the sit bones if you're seated, the buttocks, the pelvic floor from your pubic bone to your tailbone. The whole of the lower abdomen and lower back from the belly button region down. The region around the belly button, in the front and in the rear. The region above the belly button, in the abdomen. So up to and including the diaphragm, base of the rib cage, in the front, in the rear. We might include the side bodies as well, the whole of the side torso, side abdomen. And the rib cage. Let's do the whole rib cage. Now it's a little more familiar to us. The whole of the rib cage, lower, upper, sides, front and back. Include the armpits and maybe the shoulder joints, tops of the shoulders, shoulder blades, the whole of the rib cage. And the full length of both arms, from the shoulder joints down to the hands and fingers. Back up the arms to the tops of the shoulders. And then the neck, the back, the front, the sides of the neck. And the whole of the head and face, the back, the sides, the face, the top of the head. And then waving down through the body with the awareness, all the way down to the feet and toes again. Connecting in any areas I've missed out or I've forgotten. Releasing any tension that's now come into your awareness that previously you weren't aware of. And when you make it to the feet and toes, start to repeat the mantra or the phrase. So we're using the word one as a reminder. We're silently repeating that over and over inside. We might connect it to the breath. We might not. We take a passive attitude towards the mind. Whenever it talks, just let it do what it does. And then keep coming back to the mantra whenever you need to. Whenever you recognize you've drifted, come back to the mantra. 16 minutes starting now. Okay, 16 minutes. Really well done. So stay observing, witnessing the inside of the body, the mind and the emotions. Again, I want to commend you for staying with this. It's not easy. It's simple. What we're doing is simple, but it's not easy. It gets easier. I give you my word, it does get easier. That neuroplasticity. You're creating new ruts in the brain, positive ruts. And so it makes it easier to ski down those every time you do it. You're reinforcing them. So not only are we making the habit easier, but we're actually changing both the structure and the genetic level of our brain for the better. And because we keep rewiring it, because we keep reinforcing it day after day, those ruts become deeper and stronger. And then they spill over. The effect of them spills over into our day. So it's not just a temporary state. And if you want to do more in the day, of course, that's fine. So after sitting for as long as you need to feel through the body and become comfortable with whatever's there, the mind and the emotions, we have the option to shift our attention to that experience, that thing we would want to have happen, externally or internal experience. And if you're going to do that, then engage as much emotion as you can. Make it as vivid and as intense as you can, that experience is happening right here, right now. What do you smell? What do you hear? What do you see? What do you feel? Really allow it to be alive here and now. And keep working with that vivid intensity. Keep reinforcing this experience until you come to the point where you so firmly believe it, you can just sense that it's done. It's so complete that, oh yeah, it's as good as here, or it's as good as gonna happen. It's cast in stone. It's a done deal. Once you get to that point, then you could move on to something else. You can just trust that experience will manifest for you. Or you don't have to do that at all. So again, staying with that for as long as you wish. And then when you're ready to come back, maybe a yawn, maybe some deeper breathing like we did at the beginning. So if you want to wake yourself up a little more, then you'd make the inhales longer than the exhales. So the inhales might be a 4 count, and the exhales a 3 count. Again, the same volume of air moves, inhale and exhale, but it's just over a different period of time. And then as you're ready to come back, you might stretch up, you might yawn again, rub the hands together, gently wash, massage the face, comb. You can always comb the hair with your fingertips, fingernails, front to back. Okay, well done.